about 7 years, 8 years ago, when we're experiencing literally more than 50% of the time load shed, we could not afford to continue like that. And we called the entire private sector, people that are manufacturing, people that are interested, and we said, gentlemen, ladies, you need to make a choice to remain in the darkness or having expensive electricity. It was so bad that the first question was, which electricity are you talking about? When do we get it? And we jumped in the region at an average tariff of $23 per kilowatt hour. It was the highest in the region. Today, it's not an issue, and people paid. So it isn't at times a question of the tariff. It's a question of all that met it. Supply it sufficiently, then talk about other things.
This is a little bit about Africa itself. At the moment, Africa has about 130, 140,000 megawatt installed base. Most of it is based on coal generation coming from South Africa. Still a big part hydro, the rest is gas, thermal and some renewables. Interesting part about what you will see for the future is the growth in Africa in terms as well as people as GDP. The expectations is that this continent will have over 2 billion people in 2050. That requires an enormous growth of installed base, which is already very small today. The lowest installed base in the world.
So it has many advantages. What will be the fuels for this? Yeah, there is still heavy fuel oil available, and it can be done in a clean way nowadays also. But also many countries in Africa have a lot of natural gas. And natural gas is not a fuel what should be burned as quickly as possible because it's a very valuable battery. I see it as a battery in the earth. And you should use this just for, say, for backup power, for peaking power. That's what gas is meant for, not for burning it as quickly as possible. Like, I'm from the Netherlands, and they call it the Dutch disease. 50 years ago, we found big gas resources in the Netherlands. You know what they did? They sold it as quickly as possible, and they burned it as quickly as possible because they believed that nuclear power would take over. Now, you and I now know nowadays that that is not a solution. And now we feel really sorry that we burned the gas so fast. So just use it for backup and for peaking.